Be good or be gone. It's Amateur Night at the world-famous Apollo Theater, the soul of American culture. Live every Wednesday night, comedian Capone hosts as aspiring singers, dancers.
Everything I do gonna be for funky from now on, yeah. Everything I do gonna be for funky from now on. Doom dang 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 doom dang doom dang dang. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Everything I do gonna be for funky from now on. Just got to be myself and do my thing. A little soul can't do no harm. Let's get down with it.
Good evening, Harlem. Welcome to the Harlem Beat, a community affairs show produced by the radio journalism class here at City College. I'm your host, Asia Lawrence. On today's show, reporter Nicolette Nanton will speak on Louis Barnes and Kay Presley, who are members of the Citywide Alliance, or CAAD, has organized to oppose New York Mayor de Blasio's rezoning plan. And in honor of Black History Month, we will look at the achievements of a politician, a beauty queen, and an entrepreneur in the hair care industry. But first, Jasmine Grubb will give us the headlines. Jasmine?
In national news, the American Girl doll has a new doll, and she is a part of the historical collection Be Forever. Melody is a 9-year-old African-American girl who uses her voice and singing to make a difference during the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Many see American Girl as just a doll company, but the company sees itself as a storyteller. According to CBS News, the American Girl marketing team collaborated with historians, educators, and civil rights activist Jillian Bond to make sure Melody's story is accurate. This summer, future Melody owners can expect to spend over $100 on the doll, and if you want all of her accessories, be ready to dish out over $900 more. In local news, Osman Kui, a teacher at PS 194 in Harlem, was caught on the school's camera system throwing a second grader across the hall. The school waited a month before the 7-year-old's mother, Chantel Finazzi, was informed. In 2013, Kui received a letter of complaint for throwing Xavier Gomez, a 7-year-old special needs student, down the stairs. In his 22 years tenure, Kui received a total of 4 letters of complaint from the Department of Education for violence against students. Because Kui was actually caught on camera this time, the Department of Education issued the following statement, quote, "This behavior is deeply troubling, and we are seeking to terminate this teacher's employment. He has been removed from this classroom and reassigned away from the student," end quote. Kui was charged with endangering the welfare of a child and third-degree attempted assault. Bail was set at $1,000 cash during his arraignment on Wednesday. And in celebration of Black History Month, WHCR 90.3 FM also salutes the work of Marshawn McCarroll. Sadly, McCarroll, a member of the Black Lives Matter movement, shot himself at the entrance of a state house in Columbus, Ohio on February 8, 2016. But before his death, the 23-year-old organized Black Lives Matter protests in Ohio after the Michael Brown shooting. He also served as an activist for homelessness. He launched a program called Feed the Streets after suffering from homelessness for 3 months, while he graduated from high school. He also founded the mentorship program Pursuing Our Dreams. The Friday before his suicide, he attended the NAACP Awards with his mother, where he received an award. McCarroll will always be remembered for his activism. This is Jasmine Grubb for WHCR 90.3 FM. Back to you, Asia.
In honor of Black History Month, WHCR 90.3 FM would like to salute 2015's Sports Person of the Year, Serena Williams. Homeschooled and coached by her father, Richard Williams, Serena battled severe knee injuries to become not only the best female tennis player, but one of the world's greatest athletes. Serena is now chasing history to become the all-time leader in Grand Slam titles in the Open era, passing Steffi Graf. Due to Williams' unbelievable success, the World Tennis Association has adopted Serena Slam as an official title for outstanding achievements in the Grand Slam tournaments. Aside from her on-the-court achievements, in 2008 she funded the Serena Williams Secondary School in Kenya and continues to raise money to aid earthquake victims in Haiti.
Dang, 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 dang. Yeah. on. Everything I do gonna be for funky from now on. Just got to be myself and do my thing. A little soul can't do no harm. Now get down with it and let your head down and turn yourself on. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on, yeah. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Some may say I ain't got no class, but I'm doing what I want to do. So screw with me, child, if you can, or just do what you want to.
Several months ago, New York City Mayor de Blasio released a rezoning plan aiming to build 200 units of affordable housing in the next 10 years. But there is a disconnect. People from various low-income communities, the rezoning plan has targeted and has come together to ban and oppose this. We are going to take a quick break, but when we return, reporter Nicolette will speak on some of those community organizers. Take it away, Nicolette.
In the studio with us this evening is Mr. Lewis Barnes and Ms. Kay Presley, who are both members of the Citywide Alliance Against Displacement, or CAAD. The Citywide Alliance Against Displacement is organizing residents living all over New York City to fight Mayor de Blasio's rezoning plan. And before we get started, I just wanted to take this time to thank you both for stopping by today, because I know that this is a very important issue that not a lot of people actually know about. So thank you so much for stopping by to talk some more about it.
Thank you. It's
You're
great
welcome.
to be here.
Thank you. So let's just start things off by discussing what is the Citywide Alliance Against Displacement?
So the Citywide Alliance Against Displacement is a group of community organizations from around the city that have come together to say no to Mayor de Blasio's rezoning. He's pushing this forward because he says that it's going to create more quote-unquote affordable housing. Mm-hmm. But we see that it's actually going to have really serious effects for our communities in making our communities less affordable, continuing to displace low-income people, especially in neighborhoods of color, pushing out small businesses, and continuing the privatization of public housing. And these are things that, we really can't compromise on right now. People in New York City are coming under so much pressure that we need to come out and fight and propose alternatives, the kinds of things that we need in our community. So it's groups like this from East Harlem, from the South Bronx, from Brooklyn, who are coming together to say no and find solutions ourselves.
And with that said, how long has your organization been around?
So the Citywide Alliance came together towards the end of 2015 because we saw that I'm with National Mobilization Against Sweatshops, Lower East Side Workers Center. And the fight that we were waging down there was shared in places around the city. And we felt like to really achieve something for protection for all of us, we needed to come together. So we had multiple marches to City Hall, town hall meetings where thousands of people came, but we saw that we needed to make this a lot bigger and reach out to people like Harlem Consumer Education Council, where Kay is from. And the South Bronx Community Congress has also been really active on this. El Barrio Unite, all of these people who have been really instrumental in showing a way forward for people in the city.
And as you just went into detail about your different involvements within the city, my next question is, so what are your roles exactly in this movement to fight displacement? From my understanding, you both work in different locations in New York City. Would you mind telling me some more about that?
Yes, absolutely. And once again, I want to thank you for having us here on the show. My name is Kay Presley, and what I do, I represent East Harlem from Harlem Consumer Education Council. And what we are doing, we have come together with a coalition because we are facing the same thing in Harlem that they're facing in where they are. In fact, this is something that has affected all of New Yorkers. And as an activist, I have watched the community itself go through certain things, and it hasn't changed. This is really racism, and on every level. wherein the poor, people of color, minorities, and they're just being pushed out of their homes. They're being, those who have not been pushed out, they're being displaced. Case on case with harassment, you have a lot of tenants who are being harassed out of their low income housing, simply because if they're harassed out and they move out, they are able to rent these apartments for more money. So as an activist, I have stepped up to the plate to join the alliance, because I myself am going through that in court with the landlord. And I've found that I'm not alone. And we have to come together. This is not an isolated problem for one area. This is everywhere. And our vote counts. What they refuse to realize is that there's an election on every level, and these people are city officials, and we have put them there. Our votes, our voices have put them there, and our votes and our voices can take them out. So we have a lot that we can offer in coming together. We need to continue to organize with this organization. We need to continue to strategize, and we need to continue to mobilize until our voices are heard.
It's great, amazing work, and thank you for all of your work that you've done with the Harlem community. And my next question is, so Louis, what is your role specifically within this movement?
So I'm a member and volunteer at National Mobilization Against Sweatshops, which is active in the Lower East Side. I'm here because a lot of our members who live on the Lower East Side are at risk of displacement. They live in low-income housing, they live in private housing, but the rents are going up, repairs are not getting done, and people feel like they're getting pushed out. And the Lower East Side has always been a very diverse community, a really large Hispanic, Black, Chinese population that lives there, that's lived side by side for decades, and is being pushed out very rapidly. And so my involvement with the Workers' Center and seeing what's happening there, and also seeing what's happening where I live in Brooklyn, has made me active around this, because I feel like I like living in New York City. This is a place where I want to stay, and for myself, if I'm going to stay here, if I'm going to have a place here, I need to fight, because people like myself who don't make a ton of money, who are, more more vulnerable than, somebody who can really afford like a $3,000 a month apartment. We don't really have a place here anymore, right? Young people, they're not making space for us in this city anymore.
Right.
So coming together at my Workers' Center to fight around that is why I'm here. Yeah.
Hey, and as you basically just touched on affordable housing, rather, can you explain Mayor de Blasio's new rezoning plan?
Yeah, so his rezoning plan, like I said before, is trying to create quote unquote affordable housing, and he's doing it by encouraging development in very specific areas like East Harlem, East New York, South Bronx, and Inwood. And you look at it, and these are majority communities of color, and he's encouraging this development where 30% is going to be earmarked as affordable. And again, I say affordable, like affordable to who? There's these income brackets that I don't qualify for, Kay doesn't qualify for, most of our members at our Workers' Center don't qualify for. And so this affordable housing is not affordable to the people that live there, but it's actually not enough, because even the 70% of units that are going to be built are going to be market rate, which is like at least $2,000, $3,000 a month. And so even though he's building more of this quote unquote affordable housing, the effect on the surrounding neighborhood is going to be raising property prices, raising property taxes, and it's going to increase rents for everyone, right? So there's going to be a net loss of affordable housing, because these are communities that are already affordable to begin with, right? So what happens to the people who are there right now? And he's pushing this forward like it's some great progressive proposal, but we see that it's not, right? Rezoning these communities of color is clearly racist. Why are you not building this kind of housing in other areas? These people already have affordable communities, right? So why are you encouraging this development that's putting more money in the pockets of developers? That's our stance on it. And we feel like what would be a good alternative is something we have on the Lower East Side in Chinatown, that discourages this high-rise luxury development, protects public housing, stops the kinds of harassment of tenants that Kay is talking about, and also protects small businesses, right? And by doing that, we call this community-led rezoning. By doing that, we can have like real protections and stop the displacement that's happening in New York City.
And I know that you just mentioned high rises. Upon doing a little bit of research on this rezoning plan, I just wanted to have like a little bit more clarity, rather. So with the high rises, does rezoning also allow for taller buildings, or like what exactly, like what kind of issues would that cause?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of a rezoning it is. On the Lower East Side in 2008, there was this rezoning that protected the majority white and wealthy East Village from high-rise development. And that all got pushed down onto the Lower East Side, specifically the waterfront where they're trying to build right now. And we're saying that, you know, if you have no height limits, these developers are going to build these huge skyscrapers with condos for millions of dollars. And there's no way that we can compete with that. And that's going to destroy our neighborhoods, right? So what we need is zoning to cap these height limits, right? Not the upzoning, which is exactly what Mayor de Blasio is proposing. Is he's saying to developers, you can build higher, but you just need to include more of this quote-unquote affordable housing that's actually, frankly, a scam for these communities because it's going to make them more unaffordable overall.
So I'm just going to end things with one last question. As this plan will impact millions all over the boroughs, how can our listeners get involved with this movement to stop this rezoning that's happening?
They can get involved by, contacting the coalition. And we have many positions that they can be active in. We find that a lot of people who are not involved is because of the pressure that they're under, because they're so busy working, trying to make a living. They don't realize that, together we can come and have a voice. So we encourage people to call the Citywide Alliance Against Displacement, become an active member in your own community, and attend the meetings, and also I would say be a part of the rally, because we hope to get different petitions going in different parts of the city. We want it to be an entire New York City, not just one part. So if we get everybody on board and in their own neighborhoods, going door to door and spreading the word, because that's the best kind of advertising right there, and making sure that our voices are heard. So I think that we are doing a great job, and but we have to keep the momentum going. As I said, we have to remain very, very, very visible. They're hoping that we'll go away and we won't. We'll just take anything that they say. But we have to remain an organized group. We have to remain strategized, and we have to remain mobilized. Keep on moving, and keeping the movement forward.
So yeah, we have a Facebook page, Citywide Alliance Against Displacement. Check us out on Facebook. The group that I'm with, Coalition to Protect Chinatown and Lower East Side. We also have a Facebook and a website, peoplefirstnyc.org. So check that out. And you can also just call our center at 212-358-0295. We're open from 11 to 7. So I think it would be great if people at City College got more active. You guys are in the heart of Harlem where so much of this is happening. And young people need to begin to organize for a future in the city. That much is clear.
Great. Well, I just want to take the time to say thank you, Mr. Barnes, Ms. Presley. Thank you for talking to us about this very important issue on Harlem Beat. Back to you, Asia.
But nobody seems to understand that. How can a man sing such a sad song? Ooh, when he lost everything. When he lost everything that he had. How can I explain to you when somebody has been so very
Welcome back to Harlem Beat, and now reporters Carol Commission, Betty Wu, and Neoma Okri will do a tribute and achievements of Jamaican American and African American and an African in honor of Black History Month. Carol, take it away.
Colin Luther Powell, born April 5th, 1937, is an African American statesman. He was the 65th U.S. Secretary of State, serving under U.S. President George W. Bush from 2001 to 2005, and the first Black man to serve in that position. He was commander of the U.S. Army Forces Command in 1989. He was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff from 1989 to 1993 during the Persian Gulf War. Born in Harlem, he is the son of Jamaican immigrants. Powell was the first and so far the only African American to serve on the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the first of two consecutive Black office holders to serve as U.S. Secretary of State. He is a City College alumni who graduated with a BA in Geology, where he joined the Reserved Officers Training Corps and later got his MBA at NYU. This is Carol Commission for WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
On the popular TV show America's Next Top Model, models are taught to shy away from their beauty pageant status in order to achieve the typical strong and fierce runway look. Mame Ajay, a runner-up on the series finale, has taught us you can have the best of both beauty worlds. Ajay currently serves as Miss Maryland USA 2015 and is a daughter of parents who are diplomats in Ghana. After moving to the United States with her aunt at the age of 9, she studied political science, African American studies, and business at Virginia Commonwealth University. At age 23, Ajay co-founded her own nonprofit organization called Empress Foundation to help young girls embark on a journey of education and self-improvement. Ajay has been a beauty pageant contestant, a runway model, a community activist, and an entrepreneur, all at the same time. She has created her own niche in the modeling industry without losing her individuality. This is Betty Wu for WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
In honor of Black History Month, you know we had to highlight some very important people that, sadly, some of y'all have never heard of. Yes, leave it to Harlem Beat to drop that knowledge. She goes by the name of Christina Jenkins, and for my sisters who wear weave, y'all might want to pay homage to this one. Christina Jenkins is the mother of weave. She created a hair weaving process in the 1950s, and while hair pieces and wigs already existed back then, she was the first to create weaving and received a license for it in 1951. She and her husband Duke Jenkins went on to create a company named Christina's Hair Weave, and the system was so good that people all over the world paid her to learn how to sew and weave. Now ask yourself, if not for Mrs. Jenkins, where would some of us be? This is Neoma Okri for WHCR 90.3 FM, New York. Back to you, Asia.
Thank you for listening, Harlem Beat. Tonight's headline reporter was Jasmine Grubb, feature reporter was Nicolette Nanton, and a special thanks to our guests, Louis Barnes and Kay Presley. Black History Profiles reporters were Gregory Cagle, Chris Machin, Betty Wu, Carol Commission, and Neoma Okri. Our music director and board operator was Zachary Dobson, assisted by WHCR's production manager, Tina Dixon. The radio journalism class is taught by Professor Angela Hardin. I'm your host, Asia Lawrence. Thank you, Harlem, and good night.
From now on, doom dang 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 doom dang doom dang dang. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Just got to be myself and do my thing. A little soul can't do no harm. Now get down with it and let your head down and turn yourself on. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on, yeah. Everything I do gonna be funky class, but I'm doing what I want to do. So screw with me, child, if you can, or just do what you want to. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Oh, shut. Dang, dang, doo, dang, oh, dang, doo, dang, dang, dang. Doo, dang, doo, dang, 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 doo, dang, dang. Funky homes, in my life have I felt so good being the natural me. My mind of hang-ups, my mind of ties, but deep inside I'm free. I said everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on.
Harlem has its own radio station.
For you and yours,
WHCR 90.3 FM.
the livest party in the whole universe.
The voice of Harlem.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Maurice Selby.
And this is Sean Shivers.
Let's heal together by tuning into our show, Health in Harlem, every Thursday night at 7 p.m., where we interview healthcare professionals who will give you free medical advice.
Yes, that's free medical advice. We will discuss various ailments that affect your quality of life.
We will show you how you can afford to get treatment without emptying your pocket.
And I guarantee you will have learned something by the end of the show.
Armed with this life-saving information, all we ask is that you share it with friends and family.
That's Health in Harlem every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
The voice of Harlem.
The voice of Harlem.
Be good or be gone. It's Amateur Night at the world famous Apollo Theater, the soul of American culture. Live every Wednesday night, comedian Capone hosts as aspiring singers, dancers, rappers, and more take to the Apollo stage. Amateur Night at the Apollo live Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com, the Apollo box office, or charged by phone. That's Amateur Night at the Apollo, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Welcome to WHCR's Community Calendar, keeping you abreast of events in Harlem and throughout the tri-state area. The following events will take place from Friday, February 19th to Friday, February 26th, 2016. On Saturday, February 20th at 12 p.m. at El Museo del Barrio is Super Sábado Carnaval. Grab your masks and join the celebration of Caribbean and Latin American tradition of Carnaval with music, dance, and art making. This event is family friendly, and for more information, visit elmuseo.org/event. On Saturday, February 21st at 3 p.m., the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture celebrates Malcolm X, Liberation Faith Leader. In collaboration with the Malcolm X Museum, the commemoration of his assassination will focus on the intersections of his legacy as a liberation faith leader and human rights activist, accompanied by contemporary dialogues on anti-blackness and Islamophobia. This event is free, and for more information, call 212-491-2200. On Monday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. at Harris House on 27 Mount Morris Park West, the Afro Boomers Salon celebrates Black history and your personal history. They ask, how will you ensure that your unique story will be told? The Afro Boomers Salon invites you to their salon to commemorate Black History Month and find out how to get started organizing your personal memorabilia in the digital age. This event is free, and for more information, call 212-410-2213. On Tuesday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. at Sylvia's Restaurant is Legends of Harlem Lecture Series, Business and Politics. This discussion of how the legends of business and politics changed the landscape of Harlem is moderated by Lloyd Williams. For more information, email rsvp@sylviasrestaurant.com. If you have an event that you would like to place on our calendar, please call 212-650-7481 or email communitycalendar@whcr.org. Submissions must be made 3 to 4 weeks prior to the event. This is Huma Saida for WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
This is a journey into sound.
We are on the air. Keep this frequency clear. Do not attempt to adjust your dial.
Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked on WHCR 90.3 FM.
You need to keep it locked.
The voice of Harlem.
Turn it up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the listening audience. This is Sean Shivers.
And this is Ayana Cole.
And you're listening to Health in Harlem on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
The voice of Harlem.
And today, and I'm sorry for the late start, we're going to have a very, very interesting show.
Yes.
We have Dr. Maurice Wright. He is the medical director of Harlem Hospital. He's the one in charge. He's the one that oversees all the clinicians, all the doctors. Everyone at Harlem Hospital. And we're going to have our show is going to be the Optimal Care Delivery System. And I know it sounds kind of strange, but Dr. Wright is going to explain this to everyone that is listening. Dr. Wright, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Sean. How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
I am.
And I want to definitely thank you for taking the time, because I know it's busy over there, just coming on the air and having this conversation with us.
Sure.
Okay, so just to start off, can you just start off and what's the definition or the Optimal Care Delivery System? What is that for someone who is not familiar with healthcare?
So, Sean, it is to have all the patients, all of those seeking healthcare, come into the system, get easy access, great care, and also to have what we call a healthy lifestyle.
Got you.
So it is making sure that healthcare providers on a whole are in a system where we can deliver that care to all of our patients or all of our community that are seeking to become patients in our facilities.
Excellent.
Okay, so would you say that this method or this model is more patient-centered, more patient-oriented, rather than just focusing on the ailment or the disease?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, right to that point, we're going from a system that provides cures to those that have developed disease to one that prevent diseases.
Absolutely.
And in so doing, live much healthier lives.
Got you.
Okay.
So yesterday, we had a very interesting day at Harlem Hospital Center, and it was called the Patient Experience Day. And I had the chance to talk to some family members and some patients, and they were very much like, about 20 years ago, I would never come to Harlem Hospital, but today, because of the change, they would. So, Dr. Wright, what was going on probably 20 years ago compared to today that made individuals not want to come and now want to come to Harlem Hospital?
So, Sean, we're looking to change the way in which we do business for our community, to take care of them much better. You know, 20 years ago, I'll tell you that no one really focused on the patient's view of what they were facing. Today, everyone is focusing on the patient's experience when they come for care and what they say. You know, so it's really a different paradigm today, even more so. The payment models for us delivering the care also listens to the patient, and so in all of the care delivery systems, whether it be public or private, we are now striving to not just listen to the patient, but to really meet their needs. 20 years ago, I have to tell you, I was somewhat disillusioned in the healthcare system. I saw a lot of folks who didn't come into care, didn't understand how to get care. They showed up in emergency rooms that, you know, was not really the way to go, and at times they showed up too late. And we're trying to prevent that by having a lot of the care delivered when they are healthy, at home, can come in, get into the system, and at the same time get absolutely great care. So if you see what's been going on here, Sean, in the last 5 years, we've focused a lot on the quality and safety.
Correct.
Because you have to get that first here. Last year, as you know, we won the 2015 Leapfrog Top Urban Hospital Award.
Yes, and I made
quality
that
and safety.
Yep, and I made that announcement a couple of weeks ago.
Right, and now I am telling you, we are listening to the voice of the patient even more to make sure their experience, getting access, getting in for care, making sure that the preventative care they need for things like high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes are done while they can really, prevent some real horrible outcomes to those entities.
Yes.
And in so doing, have a much better life.
Gotcha.
So I think the most interesting thing is that even as a medical student and at Sophie Davis, what we're learning, we're taking a lot of these courses that are called like practice of medicine and like longitudinal clinical experiences. They're courses that are focused on patient-doctor interactions rather than just, symptoms and how to diagnose, how to treat, things like that. So they're courses that put the patient on the pedestal. So we ask, what can we do for you rather than, just give me your symptoms, let me give you a drug and call it a day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we talk about the biopsychosocial model, right? So we're taking into account the biology of the aspects, whatever the treatment should be and stuff like that. But we're also taking into account the social experience of the patient, the psychological history of the patient, what goes around in their environment in order that's going to affect their disease. In order to figure out how can we help them and how can we prevent these things in the future.
Right. So you've touched on a great point, and it's called the active learning system. It's not just in medical schools. In this hospital campus, for example, and Sean is a part of this, you see how we do performance improvement.
Correct.
It is to make sure that we have an active learning system. We learn from what we're doing, and we do it better. We improve around those key principles that were developed years ago but needs an upgrade.
Correct.
If you look at most of the improvement work we're doing here, you will see that we really strive for excellence in how we deliver the care and to make sure the care is excellent. Let me just talk about one simple one. Many years ago, when you talk about, preventing heart disease, there were certain things that were known to cause heart disease, and, smoking, high blood pressure, diabetes, and so forth. And you would basically see patients when sometimes it was when they actually developed the heart disease. What we're doing now in our population health in the clinics is that we are taking folks even before they're hypertensive, what we call pre-hypertensives. We are starting to follow them, closely monitor them, And if they develop the disease, treat them immediately with the recommended drugs so that over time you will see, by controlling their blood pressure, by controlling all the determinants that cause heart disease, they don't end up with those type of heart disease that are early, debilitating, and a lot of time doesn't allow them to live healthy lives. And by so doing, we are preventing heart disease. We are preventing strokes in a lot of those patients. And that's the whole difference. Act early, learn what you can, and apply the principles to improve the care, the health of the person and the care we give.
Hey, Dr. Wright, would you say also that the reason why you're doing all of this is because I guess you don't want that patient to have to be readmitted or have to come back to the hospital? Is that?
But we want to, first of all, Sean, prevent them from having a hospitalization.
Got you.
You know, but in a lot of the cases also, when we first meet those patients, sometime on the inpatient side, we can do things to keep them healthy at home and prevent them also from being readmitted and coming back.
I think it's such a Harlem Hospital is at such a good place where you have a lot of minorities that are coming in that are already predisposed just because of their ethnic or racial background and their ages. So I think that it's amazing that you guys have these programs and you're moving towards this preventative healthcare mindset so that we can cater to these minority populations that are already predisposed to these things like hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, like things like that.
So I'm very excited about medicine today. I'll tell you, when I went to medical school, I was extremely excited. By the time I finished residency, I thought I had the right model and we were going to cure the world. And then 10 years later, I was depressed. And now, after years of seeing how we're changing the model, and look at what we have done at Harlem Hospital in the last couple of years, just in our clinics and doing the preventative work. Look at the things that we're accomplishing, like controlling a lot of the patients that used to be very, very hypertensive and end up with strokes. We're seeing a real different outcome. Look at the things that we are doing with asthmatics. You know, asthma is a chronic disease, but it is one that can be controlled. We are now doing a different care plan to keep them healthy so that they can work, go to school, don't get hospitalized, and if they do get hospitalized, send them back with a better plan so as to prevent them coming in. So I'm much more excited about this side of medicine than trying to fix the problem after it has gotten to a very bad stage.
Right.
Makes good point. The time right now is 7:17. We're going to take a quick commercial break. So Dr. Wright, hold your thoughts, and you're listening to Health in Harlem again on WHCR 90.3 FM. We're going to take our break, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you have a question for Dr. Wright, hit us off at 212-650-6903. That's 212-650-6903. We will take a quick break, and we will be right back.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
It's not always easy being a dad.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
What? What do you mean she's not coming?
But it's always worth it.
It's the fairy princess!
It is I, Grooves Zinkelbell. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Vinny B of the Vinny B Showcase. Tune in every Thursday from 8 to 12 midnight for some solid cultural roots music and some sweet lovers rock. Also, informative interviews and giveaways. Right here on the Vinny B Showcase every Thursday, 8 through 12 midnight on WHCR 90.3 FM. Peace.
Said I'm black, I'm tougher than
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Against their sisters and brothers, yes. That is not the way that it's supposed to be. No. We were meant to live in peace and harmony.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sean Shivers, and I'm back. You're listening to Health in Harlem on WHCR 90.3 FM, New York, the voice of Harlem. And my girl, my bad.
Hi, Nicole. No, it's okay.
And then my boy Maurice is not here. He's down at downstate.
Putting in work,
taking care, fixing people in the emergency department. But we're back, and we have Dr. Maurice Wright. He is the medical director at Harlem Hospital Center, and we are talking about the optimal care delivery system. So, Dr. Wright, you still there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Got you. So, Ayana, start off.
So we've been talking a lot about the changes that are happening at Harlem Hospital. So yesterday I had a patient experience. My uncle is currently at your facility, and I saw Sean. He was walking around with a notepad and everything, asking patients, how are things going, just trying to get some input from the patient's perspective. How exactly are these things measured? Like, what are the next steps that you take to ensure that these changes or these suggestions that patients are making are truly going to be enforced at the hospital?
So we have a very robust system of getting information from patients.
Okay.
So based upon what patients are telling us, we develop really and truly an action plan. Mm-hmm. So we group the findings.
Okay.
So let me just tell you, from the last patient experience day, we had 3 big areas. One was to improve communication.
Okay.
The other one was to work even more on eliminating wait time.
Okay.
And the other one, which actually was not a surprise to me, but it was on the inpatient services, that they wanted more food. So, the last one was easy.
Yes.
Sean was right there. So that one was it. But, improving communication means that we have to, the patients were telling us, listen, when we come to the hospital, some of you speak in languages that are in a way that we don't fully understand. Right. You have to break it down for us.
Absolutely.
And you have to let us understand what we are supposed to do in much simpler terms.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have learning sessions where we teach physicians, especially our physicians in training, how to speak to their patients so that they understand, to make sure that they speak about certain vital portions of the patient plan.
Right.
Especially what they're going to do when they leave the hospital, whether it be on the outpatient or inpatient side.
Mm-hmm.
Medications, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Them understanding why they're taking this medicine or that medicine. And so we've developed a learning center here at Harlem Hospital.
That's awesome.
In our learning center, over the next number of years, we're going to be literally asking patients for permission so that we can tape one of those young doctors talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll go back to the classroom.
Yep.
And we will critique how they did. And we will teach a larger group how it is that they can improve. And that is being shown to be a great learning model.
I totally agree with you.
We will also make sure that the specifics that they want around the care that they get it be given to them in a way that they understand. And not only that they're care managed, meaning that once they leave the hospital, we just don't leave them up to trying to figure it out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They will be attached to what we call a care manager, who is a special trained nurse who will reach out to them at frequent times to tell them or to answer any questions about the healthcare issues they have and to direct them on what to do and when to get back into care.
So is the care manager similar to a patient navigator?
No. Care manager is someone the navigator pretty much directs you through the system.
Okay.
The care manager is a high-level nurse
Okay.
who has the education to, let's say, you're a heart failure patient. They can not only tell you what to do to gauge your health, but if you're getting into trouble at home, they can tell you what next to do.
Okay.
And in so doing, your care at home can be managed by us without you having at times to come back to the hospital. And we also have those things that we can use to gauge how you're doing at home. For example, taking your weight. If you're a heart failure patient and we see your weight going up, although you may feel fine, we know that and just around the corner may be trouble. And so we will change your medications to address that issue to keep you well. And that's a pretty new model for us.
Okay.
Got you.
All right.
So Dr. Wright, we've talked in the show in the past, and you've mentioned about the Leapfrog Award. So can you give some more details as far as what this program was and why was it such a triumph for Harlem Hospital Center?
So, Sean, I can only, I'll give you the history around Leapfrog, but I can tell you exactly how we got there also.
Gotcha.
So, Leapfrog is a group of business leaders who got together many years ago and said, listen, we just don't want to provide insurance for our employees. We want to be able to direct them where to go for care because they have certain things in place, and here is their performance on certain metrics. So they will look at, let me take a few common ones so that you know, so that your audience can really understand.
Gotcha.
So Leapfrog decided many years ago that for them to recommend a hospital to their employees, you had to have a certain number of doctors, let's say in your ICU. And you had to have a certain percentage of your patients in control for a disease process. And your infection rates must be low. And they will actually use the national benchmark for infections to judge you. They also want to know what your mortality is. They want to know a lot of things about your operation. So many years ago when we first did it here, we were at a C level, improving. Actually, that was an improved status. And actually, about 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, Sean, we were voted as the most improved. And that was based upon the quality of the healthcare we were delivering around certain metrics, especially around staffing metrics, around outcome metrics. And when I say outcome, meaning that we were having good results in certain areas where folks we were challenged in getting good results. So once you improve, they noted it. But the big triumph for us was that it is heavily weighted on not having a lot of bad outcomes that we cause. This one last year showed that we made dramatic improvements in folks not getting an infection when they come to the hospital, that our ICU care was outstanding, that we were delivering care in a way that guaranteed a very positive outcome for our patients. And so they took all these metrics, we call them, let's say, core metrics. They took also some of the national metrics for infection control. The core metrics is where they look at strokes, heart attacks, they look at, let's say, ER waiting time, staffing in the ICU. All these metrics came together last year. Across the spectrum of metrics they looked at, we were ranked an A. Not only were we ranked an A in the quality and safety, we had less falls. We weren't using, the ugly restraints, when we didn't have to. We weren't doing a lot of things that were dangerous to patients, and were putting patients at risk. We were just doing really a phenomenal job in executing the cure principles to the benefit of the patient. So not only did they give us an A, in New York State, we were the only hospital that they ranked as a top urban hospital in the entire state.